Hey, Christy Mattoon here with Mind Rewire. I am super glad that you're here. Let me get rid of that off my screen real quick. Okay, I think we got it this time. All right, so I wanted to come on today. Again, this is Christy with Mind Rewire. I just wanted to talk about health today, and on a genetic level and on a cellular level, what it can mean. I had a really interesting conversation this last week with a group full of people, and the conversation was surrounding health, and particularly why infants and small children are coming into this world so unhealthy and so ill and with so many different things. And so one of the questions was, why would God make them unhealthy? And, does God give health? And I thought it was just a really interesting question. I believe we're supposed to be born healthy. I really do. I think on a cellular level, we're supposed to express health. Why are kids being born sick? I think you have to look back through the genetic lines, through the lineage, and see what their parents were doing, what was the grandparents doing, what happened in those regards. I know this one lady had said that, God gave her a sick child and she had to do the best she could with it. And I thought that was an interesting statement. And my thought was really, that you weren't given an unhealthy child, you were given a person. And, you don't say anything. I think it's a coping mechanism for these folks at the time that they're saying these kind of things. And, for her, it was definitely a coping mechanism, because what else do you do? I had a sick child also. I had a young man, my son, who's a young man now, but he was born very, very ill. And we just had a lot to deal with. We didn't know. We didn't know the difference. I know now. But trying to deal with that kind of stuff is really hard. And so she was saying that God gave her this sick person and that she thought it was a test for her of some sort to see, how strong she could be. And it obviously made her stronger, is going to make her stronger in life. I know my son definitely made me stronger. She thought that perhaps the test was somewhat for the person too, for her child also, that in his adult life, the tests that would go on and the things that would happen would reveal some kind of thing to him. And, while that probably will happen, I don't think that that's what is necessarily supposed to be happening. I think on a genetic level, when you're looking at illness and you're looking at health, if the physical body can absolutely express health, and it does express illness if the improper information is there. So if you're looking back through the genetic line and wondering what were my grandparents doing, or even the people before him that all of a sudden gave me this genetic expression of whatever kind of illness I'm representing into the world, the question is, can you do something different to clean it up? Because we know full well at this point that your environment is going to help you express different genetic information. So if you change the information and you get a different expression, what does your health look like? We also know, and some of you may know, I'm a subconscious change specialist, and so that's what I do with people mostly, is I work on changing the subconscious thoughts, changing the subconscious mind. And more so recently, just trying to get the subconscious chatter out of there that people deal with on a daily basis. It's really derailing their health. So all the negative, the old thoughts, patterns, beliefs, the emotional attachments to it are really what get people, because it keeps those negative chemicals in your system for such a long period of time. So what this has to do with the subconscious mind is, when you think about it, your subconscious mind controls body function. That's what it was initially there for, was to control body function. It controls your endocrine system, right? All your hormones and those kind of chemicals. It's the respiratory system, controls your breath. All the things your body does that you never have to think about, right? Your heartbeat, cell generation or regeneration, energy expenditure, right? It controls all of those different things. When you add on top of it the emotions of the past and all the stuff that's happened to you, that's when we start running into issues, is when that stuff never gets moved out. It's always there. It's always present. And your body starts to derail. It starts to express things on a cellular level that will cause you to have symptoms and issues. And so I think when you empty out your subconscious mind, and this isn't what I think, it's what I've seen, all of a sudden people start to be able to do amazing things. They start being able to represent inside of their own life, the stuff that was like maybe their gifting comes out even stronger. It's an amazing release when you can get that subconscious mind empty enough that all of a sudden the person is just like, whoa, like all this stuff just starts happening around them. So that's the idea behind releasing subconscious stress, releasing the subconscious past, releasing all the stuff that's locked up in there. And some people will talk about it. I talk about it, the neuroplasticity. When you start to open that up and get the chemical emotional reaction off of those old issues, that's when your past starts to become wisdom. And then you can actively use it and do different things. And actually at that point, you don't even want to look at it. You're too busy looking forward and trying to do what's in front of you. So can your body heal? Absolutely, it can heal. If there's an organ that's been disrupted from surgery, removed, right, all those kind of things, if something has really, really been damaged, you've got a harder road to healing. If the body is still intact and whole and relatively functioning, you've just got symptoms, it's going to be a little bit easier. If it's something genetic from your childhood, something we consider a genetic disease that, I don't even know, like my son had, it's called a coarctation of the aorta, so his aorta was pinched shut. So literally they had to go in and splice the vein and cut out the bad part and then pull the good part back together. And so in doing that, they caused damage cellularly on his body. They moved stuff around, but they saved his life in the end because otherwise he wouldn't have survived with a pinched aorta. Can you heal from that? Can you do something, you know, on the level of the scar? We know that's going to disrupt body function physically, right? So through the layers of the tissue, the muscles, we know that's going to cause dysfunction somewhere. Can that be addressed? Can the emotional part, because that surgery happened, I think he was 12 days old. Can the emotional stress from that surgery be released? I don't know, what do you think? I think for him it has been, and the shift that happened when we did release that emotional stress, even though he didn't even remember it, was absolutely amazing. It was a huge defining moment in his young child, or in his older adult life. So I know we can move that stuff. I know you can make it different. You'll end up with different symptoms, if you want to call them symptoms at that point. One young lady I've recently worked with, she's a body worker. She does massage and a couple of different other therapies. I'm not even sure what all she does. She does some really cool stuff for people. And she came to me just saying, hey, I want to see what we can shift here. I've got some stuff in my past that she knew about. She had feelings inside her body that were bothering her. She knew about them. And so going in and helping her release the emotional trauma to that actually helped her own, and I'm going to call it intuition, become really heightened. What she texted me was that her clients were now spontaneously healing. So they would come to her for whatever, she would put her hands on her and do what she would normally do with the massage and all the stuff that she did, all the body work that she did. And all of a sudden, these people were having these rolling healing effects that she had not seen before. That's crazy cool stuff. I think that's what your body's supposed to be doing, is have that kind of power, that kind of movement inside your own system. And I think when those kind of things go on, you see a whole difference in not only your life, but people's lives in front of you. I think what happened for her was that we removed that emotional attachment, and all of a sudden her innate abilities just went through the roof, because she was already trying to use them anyway. She was already in there working on it. And it was just like a huge trash can tipping over. We were able to tip it, clean the whole thing out, washed it up really nicely, and planted her with some words of power and wisdom that really sparked her and moved her forward. And all of a sudden now she's just a huge rocket. And I see that happening more and more and more. And it's just what has become now, I guess, my belief that if you've got trauma in your subconscious mind, if you've got stuff stuck from your past, it's those chemicals in your system, that cortisol, and we know, right? They talk about cortisol all the time as being the hormone of belly fat, because if it's in your system for a long time, you're going to start seeing symptoms. And one of the symptoms is belly fat. If we can release that and get you away from it, what will happen? What changes will you see? And not only changes in those symptoms gone, what are your innate capabilities? What should your body be able to do? What will you be able to do? And that's the really cool part. That's the stuff I want to help people see. So I don't know if you know, but I have recently written a couple books. One of them, actually both of them, hit #1 in Amazon, which was kind of cool. And I'm actually looking for the link here. So I want to give away for free. I'm going to try and put the link under here after this is over, but I want to give it to you for free. You can go to, let's see, it's https://mindrewire.info/change. Let me say it one more time and then I'll put it underneath here when this is over. It's https://mindrewire.info/change. And it's a book about subconscious change. It's a book about how to rewire your mind. It's got all my links and little stuff in there if you want to contact me. And it's one of those things, I think, seriously, when you empty out that subconscious trash, and people say, you know, you have to know your history. I've heard this one a lot too, that your history teaches you lessons. It probably does, but I think you've got it at this point. If we can release it, get the emotional attachment on it, off of it, you're going to skyrocket. And that's the thing that we want to do. If it's a health issue and you're trying to regenerate organs, we can work on that too. Again, it's the body's expression. Can you teach your body to feel differently enough that those genes can start to express differently and start to heal your physical issues? I've been working really hard on healing my own gut. So those of you who know my story, I was 300 pounds at one point, full of autoimmune issues, all kinds of craziness going on. The last piece of it seems to still be in my gut. I can actually feel it. When I eat something weird, there's a part of my stomach on kind of where your appendix would be, I guess, and that kind of, I try and really not to think about that a whole lot because I don't want to rev that up in my system. But literally I can feel it like swell. It'll get really hard feeling and really, really weird feeling. But I can also calm it down really easily just by putting my hand on it, shooting energy through it, right? The energy that we have in our hands. I can start to calm it back down the second I feel it. I can raise the chemical feeling in my own body just by accessing a thought of something that I like, and then take that feeling and shoot it through that area, and it totally just calms right down. So it's a healing, right, that's going on is what I would look at it as. I took after it not too long ago, and I've been doing intermittent fasting for a while, but I really went after the intermittent fasting, trying to clear my gut out and just really allow it time and space to heal. And space meaning empty it, right? If there's no food in there, if there's nothing it has to keep working on, it can actually work on healing. If there's nothing in my subconscious mind throwing cortisol into my system, my gut has room and space to heal. If my gut's empty, so I'm coming at it from different angles. I've got the gut emptied out of food so it really can take time and use all that energy that's in there to heal. Subconscious mind is pretty mellow. I can sit there and meditate and get into a good space and not fight and struggle to keep, being in there or to stay in there long enough. And send all that awareness and that energy to my gut to allow it to start to heal. The results have been crazy amazing. It's probably the fastest I've gotten myself to feeling better, and has stayed this way the longest period of time. And I've been working on this for years. I've been from all different kinds of angles, from the weight loss all the way through to where I'm at right now. So anyway, just things to think about. Please go check that book out. Any information that's in it is yours to use and hold on to. Play with the concepts, play with the ideas, play with, sitting in a whole brain state. To anything, put yourself in a whole brain state. If you feel like it's revving you up, sit there until it calms you back down. You'll be blown away how fast that happens and works. I want to thank you all for being here. Whoever showed up, I can't really see because I'm on my phone. But I want to thank you. And we'll be seeing you again soon. I'm back on track to trying to do a couple of these a week, or I'm not even sure at this point, probably a couple of weeks. So that'll be a lot of fun. Put comments and stuff below. I'd love to talk to you about this stuff. Get the book. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much.